What's up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. And I have my amazing friends, Alex and Andrew, on the pod.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad you guys could come over for dinner. How fun.
It was delicious.
It was so good.
It was so good. I'm actually bookmarking that recipe. I'm making that again for sure.
Oh my God. The fact that Alex and I got seconds really speaks to it too.
Yeah, I was the
That's
first
so
one
true.
to be like, I don't want to be a fat ass, but I really want more.
Please, Sam, I have some more.
It was so fucking good.
And I'm so glad that it could meet all of your needs.
Yes. And as we talked earlier, it did meet all of my dietary restrictions, thankfully.
Totally.
So I really appreciate it. It was so yummy.
It's actually
thank
so
you.
funny because when I texted you, I was like, can I have the rundown of your dietary restrictions? And James was like, why did you phrase it like that? That's rude. And I was like, is it?
No, I didn't. I never even thought twice about it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
okay.
there's no rules for
Well, and I
my
was like,
allergies.
we've talked about it.
We have.
Yeah.
So it's not even a thing I think about, honestly.
Totally.
The only thing I think about is when people make weird jokes about my other health stuff. Allergies, I don't give a fuck about that.
No,
shit.
totally.
And
hey, you can't help those. You know what I'm saying?
No,
There's
exactly.
There's no stopping
There's
those
nothing
allergies.
I can do about it.
no.
Who cares? It's one
Totally.
of those things.
I actually think it's very inspiring, talking to you both, because you both have, you've got your stuff, your dietary restrictions. I am the anomaly in this group. And so, as someone who didn't really have to deal with that a lot growing up, I like both of your outlook on life because you're like, whatever, I can eat what I can eat and it's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes nature limits you in a good way.
Honestly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It gives you
Then
perspective.
Yes.
It gives you perspective, the right amount that you need.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that's very true of the fact that kind of goes to the fact of everything happens for a reason. Everything
sure.
Everything is kind of meant to be correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know. I could have choked on a jar of peanuts when I was
Totally.
3, and if I wasn't allergic to it,
Now you stay
random
away from
things.
them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that
there are
is
just
so
so many
true.
little things you have to think about. I was just talking about this earlier with my other, because I have this form of leukemia, and then I have this autoimmune thing that I deal with, and when you have those real intense things,
Yeah, those
allergies
are intense. Those
feel
are intense. Yeah.
like nothing
Right.
to me. So it's
Smoke
just
in the wind, yeah.
completely changes the outlook of things, and I feel like that's just life for everybody.
For sure.
We all have things that feel just as intense as health stuff or crazy shit. So that's
very
my
true.
outlook.
Yeah, no, I kind of love that. I feel like you definitely live by that motto of things happen for a reason, and I have to actually embrace that more because I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
However, I'm kind of why the fuck did that just happen?
Yeah. It's hard sometimes to accept the reality of things.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think what I'm learning is that you need to take it as this is a reality.
Yeah.
And we can have another set of actions that can alter
For
that
sure.
Yes.
even further
Yes.
or
Yeah.
onto a right path.
Yeah.
I feel like everything does happen for a reason to teach you a lesson.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then that
Agreed.
lesson can carry you to do another set of actions that can
Yes.
really alter a different
I'm
thing.
obsessed
And
with that.
Yeah.
honestly, now thinking of it as such, I think it's more liberating because
Yeah.
then you're not putting an expectation of the outcome of something.
Oh, 100%.
If that makes sense. It's just I'll let whatever it is be, and then I can decide from there how I want that be to look like, if that makes sense.
Mm.
I like that. I think for me, this is why it's so good to have you both on this pod because I'm a negative Nelly. I love to complain, which is
You're the
literally-
realistic folk. We need you.
which is literally how this podcast got started.
Yeah.
James was like, you complain too much. And I was like, fine, I'll channel that into something. And ironically, he has to edit every episode.
Yeah.
so
I'll
he
make
has
art
to-
out of it. Don't worry.
Well, we're taking all of our badges of honors. We're making it into an art.
For sure.
I mean, not a badge of honor. These things that we're,
Yes.
don't feel great about ourselves
Yeah.
or things like that. How can
Literally,
we
look at
turn
that
it?
sleeve, everybody.
Yeah, no.
I'm obsessed with that.
My allergy sleeve. Yeah.
I think that's genius.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
Honestly, I thought about it in high school, and it was the one thing that my mom was just like, oh, okay, I can get if you want a tattoo of that.
She was behind it.
Because I
Totally.
always wanted to be covered. I don't even remember when I first wanted to be covered, but I remember being in church drawing versions of myself with tattoos.
Oh my God, incredible.
And like when I thought of like, oh, it would be cool to like get my, I think it started with a Mr. Planner's peanut. Like I thought like that would be funny to get a tattoo of a Mr. Planner's peanut with like a skull and crossbones on top. Because it felt like very American traditional, like kind of something like that. Ended up in a different route. But my mom was actually like, oh, I kind of like that. And that was...
Because you're owning your fucking truth.
Exactly. And so it was like, okay, let me run with it. And
also, whenever your mom's going to approve of a tattoo, you have to really take that.
Run with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If your mom approves anything, you're like, I'm on the path to success.
This means something. I know. Literally. Well, and the three of us were very close with our moms, it seems. Yeah. We are. And so it really does mean something when our moms approve of something. Mm-hmm. It kind of like feeds into this idea of, oh, maybe I am on the right path. Like I am doing something correct, you know?
Mom approval is important to me.
Oh my
Even
God.
At this day and age.
Same. At the ripe old age of 27, I'm like, Mom, what do you think?
Mom, yeah. And when they don't agree, I'm like, well, I still like it anyway.
Exactly.
But like,
yeah.
But it's just nice to get that affirmation from your parents, even at like the age of 27. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
We're learning how to, I feel like what I'm learning is how to take no opinion. Like my mom will have no opinion of something and being okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, or like how to
that's
like navigate these
worse
ideas
than,
of like
positive or negative.
Exactly. Or even taking her negative opinions and being like, okay, that's cool. And, you know, I can still move forward with the decision I want to make, even though she doesn't fully agree. And still learning on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I had that earlier this year with some work stuff and, you know, things like that. But it's just all about learning how to be independent.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's the hardest thing.
Which is so interesting because moms obviously want their children to grow up and be independent. But at the same time, I know my mother, love that woman to death, Chris, if you're listening. But when I got these tattoos, which I didn't ask for her approval first. I went to her afterwards and I was like, what do you think? And her response was, oh, I like this one better.
Yeah.
Wait, which is so funny because I like the smize of her.
Yeah, right?
I like her.
And then, so these ones came together.
I love a symmetry.
Oh my God, I've never noticed that.
And my mom was like, I mean, they're pretty, but, and I was like, I didn't ask for a comparison, Mom. You know how moms always
Wait, that is so funny. I also have two tattoos. One that I'm right now lasering off, and another one that I like. The one that I like, my mom hates, and the one that I'm getting lasered off, she's like, why don't you laser off the other one? And I'm like, because I'm lasering off the one I don't like at all.
Yeah.
So that's so funny that like, I know. They just don't get it. They don't get the tattoo like thing that we have going on.
They really don't. I know. Moms can be so funny like that. It's also so funny you mentioned Planners Peanuts because I have a friend who, I don't know if this is like a uniquely Madison thing or what. Have you ever heard of like the Wienermobile?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Milwaukee is like popular for it, right?
So there's this program very similar to the Wienermobile. The Wienermobile has one and actually so does Planners Peanuts. Where my friend Molly did it, where you can basically, it's actually very prestigious as well. I think it's very hard to get into this program. It's post-college. It's like a year-long gig. And you can either drive the Wienermobile around for a year or a fucking giant Planners Peanut. And I feel like the Planners Peanut is less popular. I've never seen him on the streets.
Never.
We need to get you on the streets.
Yeah, we need to get you
on the streets. I would do it. I would do it.
Peanut?
Oh my God. Let me
There
drive
would be
it.
something really
What's the
kind
salary?
of... Yeah.
What's the, I'm not leaving the bed for less than $100,000
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Right.
No, literally.
Right.
Well, and they end up like traveling around to all these different cities and then going to like, honestly, a lot of like grocery stores and just kind of like doing promo or like some festivals and stuff like that, wherever they can get like the sponsorship or whatever when things line up correctly. But yeah, and my friend Molly was like, yeah, I mean, I was just driving this fucking giant peanut around. I was like living off of like truck stop food. I honestly felt really unhealthy that year, but it was fun. I was like, that is crazy.
I did not know that reality could exist in this world.
There's so many little jobs that we just don't even know. Like when you're on the train, honestly, the Blue Line, I commute every morning to the Blue Line. I'm packed like a fucking sardine in that shit. Pressed against the walls.
Totally.
And
Where's your office?
The Merchandise Mart.
Okay.
And I'm wondering to myself, what the hell do all of these people do?
I know.
Like every
where
day.
are they
like,
coming
where
from?
Are they coming from?
How was their day?
Like, how was their day? Actually, once it's after 5, like, I could give a shit about their day. I'm like, I want to get the fuck home.
Totally.
And I'm pissed off that they're not taking their backpacks off. It's always these straight men that leave their backpacks on in a crowded train.
Or when they reserve a
Taking
seat with their backpack.
Idiot.
Oh my God, even worse.
Even worse. Don't you see all these people standing up and you're literally reserving your seat for
just so that you don't have to sit by somebody.
For your laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. And I have come to the point in my blue line language of just I don't even care. I will push myself on.
Yeah.
And I have like, it's so funny. I have like specific places that I will stand and I will not like my favorite.
Oh, I know my spots.
I know my spots. My spot is like right by the door. I stand like I want to be the first one off the train against the glass.
Because then you won't pull over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't have to subway surf.
Yes.
Yep.
I do not want to be in the hallway or like that little.
No, because then you get scared that you're going to be left behind and doors closing, closing, and you have 2 milliseconds.
You can't get
and
out.
I'm going to be on the side of the door that's opening. I'm not going to put myself on the opposite side. No, I have like this whole little routine when I get on the blue line.
Me too.
That's amazing.
That's
Wait, so you take the blue line to work as well every day?
So I used to. I actually work from home now. When I first moved here, so my company is based in Madison. And when I first, and like we had like somewhere between probably like 10 to 12, maybe even 15 like college Chicago employees. So when I first moved here, we had like a WeWork in River North.
Okay.
So I would always jump on the blue line. I actually kind of liked it because I felt like such a little city girl with my little backpack getting on the
Your
fucking
little outfit.
Yeah. And so we did that for a while. And then they decided to get rid of the WeWork and bring us to Madison more frequently because the entire team of people that I pretty much manage is like out of Madison. So I feel like having FaceTime is important versus meeting up with all the Chicago people who are on like maybe different teams than I am.
Yeah.
So I don't even have a commute anymore, which once it became winter, I was like, maybe I am over this commute. It was fun. And then it got a little tumultuous, but
the shovel comes out and then that's when you hate everything.
Yeah, they're putting like all the salt on the roads. And I'm like, it might be time for me to stay inside.
Yep. Your shoes get disgustingly white from like the salt that's left behind on the street. Yeah, it's horrible. I hate it.
I will never understand forcing employees to go into work.
Me neither.
During a blizzard
or things like that.
Especially when my whole job is literally on a laptop.
Literally.
Yeah. Or a computer or things like that. Yeah. Or phone calls.
Yeah.
I can all do that from the privacy of my home.
Zoom,
for
baby.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are vivid memories of me literally like fighting against the wind, like walking to go to school.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I literally okay, so this is like a Latina thing for sure. Like we always say that our parents complain about having like the hardest journey to go to school. Cross 3 rivers and cross a mountain. Literally, that's me.
But you're like, but I
actually had to do it because there were
blown away in these city streets.
If you were raised in Chicago, there could be like 12 inches of snow and like you still probably had to go to school kind of crazy thing.
Madison
I'm exaggerating
was like that too. Like Madison, the way that I remember sitting in front of the TV and you're seeing the couple schools that have gotten canceled so far and I'm like, please, and it's never yours.
It's never yours. Now, I did live in Oregon after my parents split and they had literally a millimeter of snow that fell and school got canceled and I thought I was the luckiest girl alive while I was living in Oregon.
Oh my God, and there's nothing like a snow day.
Nothing.
Oh my God, I loved a snow day.
What do you have planned as an 8-year-old? You're like, pancakes for breakfast, cartoons for dinner.
Girl dinner.
Girl math.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I remember specifically there was this one like series of snow days. It was actually when I was in high school. So we were like too grown to be excited. But I had like 4 of my friends over the first night that we kind of got like snowed in. And we were like, school's for sure going to be canceled tomorrow. Like, let's have a sleepover. So everyone slept over at my parents' house, and then school got canceled again the next day. We had like a 4-day sleepover. It was so fun. It was so,
God.
And then we kind of did that again, like literally in 2020 because of the pandemic. And I was like, not as fun anymore.
Not as fun.
We're adults.
Not as fun.
It's scary.
Yeah, now it's scary.
I did have recently an adult sleepover. So my friends just bought a house, and they have a guest bedroom, and it's very nice.
Oh, that's like a luxurious sleepover.
Luxurious. Yeah. Have you ever had an adult sleepover like that? Because it's actually life-changing.
I mean, other than vacations, no.
Yeah, like not where I have maybe my own room where I can close the door.
Yeah. That is the time when you guys experience that, you'll notice, honestly, sleepovers are not that bad.
Totally.
I love.
You just need to have your own space as an adult.
I want to do more adult sleepovers. I think they're silly and they're fun. And,
I think they're fun.
You know, I guess I wouldn't. I maybe did them like 23, 24. Like I would say one time, me and my group of friends in Chicago, we wanted to go to Christmas Queen.
Totally.
So we got an Airbnb for ourselves because we were like 22, 23, and we wanted to get in like a look together, like a group look, like all of this. And so we were doing our makeups, and then we came back and we spent the night in that Airbnb. Like it was just like such fond memories. And, you know, I think we should all do that again, like staycations or maybe someone's apartment or like movies and things like that, or like just even like hanging out, doing your makeup all night, not worrying about like, okay, I have to go home,
order the Uber.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, because then in the morning, you can just walk everywhere.
For sure.
That's how I feel.
In the morning, the Ubers are cheaper.
Yeah.
In the morning, the Ubers are cheaper. Or in the morning, I have the energy to go walk to the train now.
Especially when you're all together. How
Exactly.
fun. I will say too, I miss like, I think honestly the thing I miss the most about having roommates is like everyone getting ready together when we're all about to go out. Like that feeling you were just kind of bringing up, I was like, yeah, I miss that. That's so fun. Or like, yeah, the same thing. Like if you had all your friends over in a sleepover for like high school and you're all about to like go to a party or whatever it is, like, oh my God, intoxicating.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes getting ready for something can be maybe just as fun or equally as fun.
Sometimes more fun.
More fun than actually going out, because like that's where you really, I think that's like where bonding really happens.
Totally.
I love when we like assist each other with our outfits and stuff like that. It's the funnest thing. And then you really like, that means you really care about the perspective that the other person is contributing to your life in terms of how you look.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I still like, that is one of my favorite things to do. Like I just did that this Sunday night. Like I went to my friend Tom's and brought like an option for some looks.
Yes.
We still like, Tom is Skin is this amazing talented drag artist. You know, I'm watching them do their makeup, and then
also,
I'm
that's
like,
a whole nother level.
I should have been like doing my makeup too. I'm like, why didn't I shave? I should have done my but then I'm like, what do you think of this or this or this? That is the most fun. We've done that before. Like I do that with like our friend Dante all the time, or
and
like,
being able to like swap clothes.
You know, yes.
Yep.
And like, oh my God, even when Kyle and I went to the Cindy's or Celeste's in the matching diamond bras, which Kyle, I still need my diamond bra back.
Oh my God,
baby.
hilarious. Those were looks.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, and it was just like, that is so fun to me. Just like, okay, I like this. Can we trade? Like, you're so right. It's a bonding thing, you know. I think especially for queer people, because maybe not all of us got to do that in high school.
Yeah,
you know?
fair.
Not all of us got
or to the extent where we feel now a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot more firm affirmations now.
And you also sometimes, I don't know, I'm okay with accepting the fact that like sometimes people would tell me when I was younger, you look great in that, and maybe I did look good or great in that, but I didn't feel great.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me, and now I am able to really like incorporate the suggestions or the feedback, right? Because it keeps it fresh. But then I'm like, maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something, but it's not quite there yet. So let me think about how I can like
make it me still.
Make your input me. Yeah. And I think that is different than when I was younger. When I was younger, I'd be like, oh yeah, this person must be right. But no.
I will say some of that I also feel like is so aged, because I even remember feeling that way too. And even if I look back on like college or high school or like the stuff that I was wearing, or even how I felt in those moments, like, I don't know. You're just trying so hard to fit in. You just want to look like everybody else. You never want to stick out too much.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy that we all did that?
Yeah. And I feel like now I feel so much more comfortable and confident in myself. I really, especially clothes, for me, it's such a like way to do self-expression.
You have an amazing style.
And that's come from you, babe. I think so.
Taste,
you have fashion. An amazing style.
Thank
Literally,
you.
like I'm always in awe.
You guys
like,
are both so stylish too. Like I can tell you both have fun with your outfits. Like you value putting those together. It's fun for you.
It's a form of expression, just like you said. Yeah. And I think another important factor for me is also like, this is the mood that I'm feeling today.
Same.
I want to feel comfy, or I want to feel edgy. I want to feel emo, whatever the vibe is. I want to tell the world that
there's a vibe.
There's
always a vibe. There's a mood. There's a story in your head that's playing out.
A mood board.
There's a mood board.
Literally. Oh my God, funny.
Mine is either Y2K or 1950s Italian.
I was thinking,
which is quite the pair.
Yeah.
When do you think the Y2K thing is gonna end? I was just thinking about that. Not that I'm a Debbie Downer.
Want it to end.
No, neither. Look what I'm wearing. Neither do I.
Literally.
But neither do I. But then I'm like, this is the longest I think a trend.
Because the 80s came back for a hot minute in like 2012, 2013 in terms of like the leggings that were happening.
Totally.
Maybe a little earlier. It was like 2011, because I'm thinking of like Urban Outfitters when they came out with those like hot leggings, and then they had the saddle pants.
Yes.
And then they had
the
like a
saddle
lot
pants.
of like the fringe, and then the in like the baseball jackets and things like that started to come back.
The bleached denim.
The bleached denim came back. High-waisted mom jeans came back.
Yeah.
And then this, now it's like all about low rise, all about super baggy, all about like, I don't know that.
We have the pandemic. I think we have the pandemic
started
to thank for that. I think we all wanted to feel like comfortable. The pandemic, like
no,
COVID?
I think it was 2020.
True.
So it's been 3 years. I'm sure by next year, honestly, this is my little forecast.
Yeah, what's your forecast?
I think 2024, it's going to be 2007. It's going to be like, I think it's going to be like 2007. I think skinny jeans are slowly going to start to come back.
I never got rid of my skinny jeans.
I don't know how I feel.
You didn't keep your skinny jeans?
I definitely have some, but they all kind of are like somewhere in between like a mom jean and a skinny jean.
Okay.
They're riding that line. Because I was like, those at least maybe fit into both categories.
Well,
a whammy, a double whammy.
No, but I think like I think there's always multiple like micro trends happening. I think the biggest one that we know of right now, because it's kind of like 70s plus Y2K is happening.
So
but
true.
I think
That's
like
so true.
It's going to then again be like maybe like a little bit of a 2000s moment, like a 2007, late 2000s Y2K, plus maybe, I don't know, like it might go mod, which was what was happening in 2007.
It
was going a little mod
for a second.
Like, well, trends are
it
so
was twee,
cyclical,
right? Is what it was called, twee. Like that whole concept of like Zooey Deschanel.
Zooey Deschanel.
Like with the twee moment, like the ballet slippers.
She was an icon.
That was something I read in like a fashion magazine. They were saying that ballet slippers are going to be the shoe of like even this fall.
Those are coming back right now.
And
my Instagram, that's all it advertises.
Yeah.
Like
well,
these
think
flats.
about it. When did ballet slippers start to come back?
Early 10s.
It was the 10s.
It was the early 10s.
Like maybe 2007, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So next it's going to be like, and I'm seeing a lot of TikToks now of like fashion guys being like, you know, skinny jeans, you're saying that skinny jeans are awful, but it's all about how you style them. If you're going to do a skinny, which is very true, But it's like, okay, even the fact that they're bringing up this conversation now, it's getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
They're going to come back again.
They're bringing it back, baby.
But I do love a good baggy pant.
I love a baggy pant.
I love a wide leg.
Love a wide leg. I never thought that we were going to be at a universal stage like this where everyone was wearing them.
Me neither.
But now I don't. It's so comfy.
I know.
And then when you're having a crappy day, you still look trendy.
Yeah, but you're feeling good on the inside too.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just...
Well, trends are so cyclical, and I think it's honestly so crazy because you gotta wonder, like, how much are we repeating and how much are we making it brand new? But I also feel like there's so much on the internet now, and like there are so many little niche communities, and I feel like there isn't one there isn't one thing that's popular anymore. There are definitely overarching ideas that infiltrate all of the niches or whatever, or like most, but like even like I feel like there will never be another, I mean obviously Taylor Swift is kind of hitting this bucket right now, but like another huge pop star, because I honestly feel like there are so many niche communities who have like, oh, I'm lifting this person up, we love X, Y, and Z. And honestly, I feel like so much of that is just because the internet, like,
agreed.
And there's you can find so many people who love the exact little weird fucking thing that you love, versus like this giant thing that's like, oh, everyone loves.
Well, and that's all the media would talk about at that time.
Totally.
Because there, like you said, there wasn't this grand landscape of the internet saying like, well, actually this portion of the population loves this person.
Right.
And so it was like, for like 3 years, it was talking pop stars, it was only Britney Spears.
Yeah,
in
only,
like
truly. She
99,
was it.
2000, 2001, it was like, what is she doing? Where is she going?
And then
even
like
in 2007
Beyonce.
Again, 2008, it was like Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaga.
Yep.
Oh, Beyonce again.
Yep.
And then it was like alternating between all of those major big girls.
Yeah.
And now it's like kind of bizarre that Taylor Swift, I would say she's having her 2013 Beyonce moment right now.
I think so too.
Like, do you remember in 2013?
Oh my God, this football thing that's happening right now,
Crazy.
I want to live it. I want to be in it. I want to be involved.
The thing is, it's so crazy because I have to be honest, I probably had heard the name Travis Kelce before, but he was not on my radar.
No,
Never.
Listen, you say football, and I'm like...
Can you believe?
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift, I saw something that I sent this to people. I sent it in one of our group texts. It was a screenshot of Heinz Ketchup has come out with a specialty ketchup and seemingly ranch based off of a tweet of a picture of Taylor Swift eating a chicken finger with ketchup, and what the person who tweeted it said, seemingly ranch. So Heinz already is coming out with
Seemingly
a limited
ranch.
edition version of ketchup and seemingly ranch.
The power of Taylor Swift, though.
Dude,
That's
I know.
what people are saying. It's kind of like scary at the same time.
It is a
'cause
little
we haven't
scary.
seen something like that in so long.
Listen.
Well, I think Barbie definitely also had something to contribute to that. Like, Barbie was, I think, one of the... Not that marketing hasn't been done at a great scale. You do marketing. I'm sure you know. Like, movies get marketed like crazy.
Unlike anything I've ever seen. Yeah.
Everywhere. The food that we eat, the Happy Meals.
Oh my God.
I mean, all of that. I mean,
She
Happy
has
Meals, I guess, toys.
infiltrated-
Where were the Happy Meal toys for Barbie?
Yeah,
They
good
didn't have the
question.
Happy Meals. Well, pardon. It's the Burger King. Who had the cheese fries? The pink cheese fries.
There were pink cheese
There
fries?
was pink cheese fries, and they had like pink.
Really?
Baby,
I
you're gonna
missed
be
that.
sitting pink.
I gotta be honest.
It was
yeah, literally.
it was Burger King. It probably was Burger King.
I wouldn't doubt
because
it.
they did the Spider-Man thing,
And they
so
had
I
that
feel
black
like
burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything was Barbie this summer.
I mean, literally everything from like, you know, I know Baze was designing their bags differently, and like all of these brands, they were everywhere. That marketing was genius. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if that was Greta Thunberg or somebody else.
50
but
Shades of Pink, for real.
yeah.
50. Well, and
Or
they
Greta
also
Gerwig,
talked
Greta Thunberg, not different girl.
well, they're also Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
But they've talked about how like silver clothes have gone up in sales because of Renaissance.
Yeah.
Because of Beyonce.
Yeah.
So right now, literally, like the three biggest like things, the most powerful people
Are female.
are like Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
No, like
and
they
this
literally
Barbie
are
movie.
saving the economy, which is
They
actually
literally-
They said that. Yeah, they said that.
What other man has done that before?
Never.
Let's take a moment to
snaps for the women. Well, and I think it is actually crazy though, because Taylor Swift's marketing scheme, honestly, I don't think that the world has stopped talking about her in the last 2 years for a split second.
No.
Like, it's actually crazy to me.
It was because of the whole album drop that she did.
Started doing all these re-releases, and as soon as she started doing that, and I don't know who her marketing team is or what they've been up to, but like, holy shit, she had just the other day, she had like some little puzzle on Google, and then always a new re-release is coming out. Yeah, like people were getting on Google like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you search something, it came up like 1989 or something.
But it was just more goose eggs or whatever.
There's a
Easter
lot
eggs,
of
goose eggs. What am I talking about today?
I kind of like goose eggs better. They sound
I think
fancier.
goose egg is when you hit your head and it grows a bump.
Well, and then there's also goosebumps.
Or goosebumps. Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
you probably got
you know what people
goosebumps.
call it in England? They're like, I have goose pimples.
Ew.
Yeah, which I don't like as much.
I don't like that.
Because
I'm
then they
sorry.
call pimples spots.
Which that is dainty.
Yeah.
I like
that.
Spot. I have a spot.
And he still had his spots.
Yeah.
When they're talking about like referring to someone who's young, you know.
Oh, okay, right. Because
that was the biggest lie they could have ever told us, besides Santa Claus being like real. For any kids that are watching that are under 10.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, I don't think that makes up much of my
what's your
audience.
target demographic? Yeah, the pimples were just gonna go away after we
huge lies.
After we turn 18.
Oh my god.
In fact, I think I broke out the most from the ages of like 20 to 24.
Oh my god.
Honestly,
was it stress?
No, I honestly think it was all hormonal. I was like I really tried to like move from the pill to the IUD. And as soon as I went off the pill, my skin was like, what the fuck are you doing?
You know, I still have one of my closest friends in back in my hometown. She's still like, both of us, we rant and rave about like our skin issues. Cause she's still like, she has autoimmune stuff too. And I'm wondering if there's like, cause acne is like an autoimmune reaction for your body.
Totally.
So it's like, oh my god, I again am wearing it like a badge of honor with like Acne Ford, my like alternate account. Like I was like,
I don't even know about it.
Yeah, so Acne Ford came from the whole idea of like, okay, there's Acne the brand, and then like
Acne Studios.
Yeah, Acne Studios. And then like acne, and then well, at the time, like I referenced skin earlier when we were both coming up in the club scene, like skin was like, okay, I'll be like, because they were also super insecure about their skin. And they were like, okay, I'll be skin, you can be scar. And then I was like, well, scar kind of sounds too masculine for me, so I'll be acne.
Okay.
And then Ford came from like Tom Ford.
We love a Tom Ford.
I love Tom Ford. It should have been Brown. Acne Brown,
Tom
but
Brown.
Actually that sounds weird.
I did see that you
reposted
Tom that
more
recent The New Yorker article.
I loved it.
It was such a good article.
I haven't read it.
It's just about how like Tom Ford has like a uniform for all of his employees to wear. They get like these like 5 suits and like different like like you can mix and interchange it and all of these things, and
a capsule wardrobe.
I'm just like, it's the most French thing.
Totally.
Like that is my ideal of like a perfect style, is like having key pieces that you can just change out and like, you know.
You love a classic. Yeah. You love a basic that you can dress up.
Exactly.
And you know he's a G when he was like 3 Stripes, Adidas, I've never heard of you. And he won that lawsuit. And I said, damn right, baby, because you know how to alter
100%.
a suit to to like fit someone's body.
Well, and there were the skirts that were involved, and they were like, we don't care what gender you are, you're wearing a skirt.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And like, you're also gonna wear a pant too.
Yeah.
So like, they give you all of that. I'm like,
iconic.
That's so iconic. So you know, iconic. It's brand loyalty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all that to say, like, with like wearing, you know, or like owning parts of yourself that you don't love, but it's also like, I can't control that. Like, I can't control my allergies. I can't control anything about like, you know, maybe there's ways that you can like maintain, but at the end of the day, nothing's gonna really change. It's just your body chemistry or things like that. You know what I mean? At this point, I am a vessel to whatever my own body wants to do to me.
Okay, and I love that for you, because honestly, sometimes life is just about acceptance. Truly.
Yeah.
I love my catchphrase, my go-to. I'm always like, it's so hard to be me.
It is.
But that's also a form of acceptance. It's just like, you know what?
It is what it is.
Literally.
It is what it is.
And even the most incredible, talented, beautiful person can be having a rough day too.
And like,
you know,
the thing about it is like, it's always also going to be harder for someone else and maybe easier for somebody else. But it's like, you know, we don't even have to compare struggles. It can just be hard.
Well, everybody's experience is going to feel like horrible. It's always going to be relative.
Yeah.
Everything is going to feel like life changing or like so
it's happening to you. It's not happening to anybody else.
I mean, and this speaks to like what we were even talking about at the beginning of the hour. Like it's all about like perspective and like how are we going to look at our outlook on things? How is everything meant to happen?
Yeah.
Or, am I just going to let myself be so controlled with this idea of like I need to control everything that's going on in my life?
For sure.
When you just release how you feel, or like knowing that like truly, okay, you have control over certain things, but like at the end of the day, that still can be taken away from you.
Of course.
It releases so much pressure.
You can only control what you can control.
Correct.
Exactly.
SZA's album Control actually changed that for me in 2017. I was about to go study abroad, and I have always identified myself as a controller. Totally. I always wanted to have control of every outcome. I had a certain expectation and it had to be a certain way. And just listening to her interviews and then listening to the dialogue that she had amongst her family, because there's like little snippets of her little conversations with her grandma and her mom that are really genuine and so pure, and like you learn a little lesson or you even get a little glimpse of their dynamic just by listening to the little audios. And she made me realize that like, you don't have control in this, and it's really what you make out of that that gives you control. Out of, so true. Out of recognizing that you can't control the outcome, but you can control how you feel through that experience that you're living.
That brings me back to Hannah Montana's "Life's What You Make It," so let's make it rock. Make it rock. Oh my god, hilarious.
I love that so much.
Wait, I just saw this video of Miley Cyrus because she released Younger.
Yeah, incredible song.
Incredible.
Oh my god, made me cry so hard.
She's a badass.
I love her.
I
love the way she talks. I love the way she talks now.
An actual angel.
She had that gravelly voice.
I love you even more, baby.
Yeah, baby.
But like people are like, okay, buccal fat and veneers are beating her ass.
I know.
No, she has such a great talent, and basically this video is like 30 minutes long, and like she literally shows like pictures of when she was a baby and like when she was a teenager and all of that, and it's fantastic. And I didn't know how like the strong work ethic that Miley Cyrus has.
Yeah,
because like she even went and like highlighted this like schedule that she had for a day.
Yeah.
And literally at the age of 13, she was waking up at 3 a.m. to freaking film Hannah Montana.
That's so crazy to me.
So grew up famous, like I can't even imagine. Like obviously she had some phases, right, where she was maybe. People were like, oh my god, what is that girl doing? I also feel like it must be so hard to grow up as like a Disney star where like you were pictured as this kid for so long, like, and especially under like kind of Disney Channel, like this image of innocence and whatever. Of course she's gonna rebel against that when she gets to like her teen years or whatever. So I don't know. I also just think she's such a talented person. Like, I love that girl.
She can get it. She can get it. She knows how to write a good single.
She does.
And her voice is incredible.
Her voice is like unlike anything I've ever heard. I mean, it's so amazing.
And imagine literally growing up in front of billions of people. Like, I can't imagine that. If I thought that I had a rebellious stage at like the age of 16, I can't imagine.
And I wasn't being watched by the tabloids or
or even exposed to all the things. Imagine being 15 and being exposed to all the things that maybe a typical quote unquote normal adult will get exposed to. That's a lot of pressure.
That's the whole idea of fame is so freaky to me, and that's why it makes sense that Miley is kind of like being smart about how she's interacting with it now, because Britney Spears had her breakdown at 26. 27 breakdown. I use in quotes because it wasn't even like Like when she shaved her head and beat the car with the umbrella.
Yeah.
She was younger or our age, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that is so crazy to think about, that she was our age when that was happening.
I know.
So crazy. And then,
because
like,
she seems so much older than us.
Has joined us.
She seems so much older than we were. But it was also because we were kids, but it was also because we had known her as this perfect adult.
For sure.
From 16 on.
And that's the thing,
and that's
I think.
So fucked to me.
I think setting that expectation for someone, or even like Olivia Rodrigo, I'm not gonna lie, I did listen to Guts.
Same.
And
People love it.
if I was 16 years old, I'm not saying
God.
it's not a bad album. Actually, it's a great album for how do I say? I don't want this to sound mean. It's for a younger demographic.
I agree. And she's a young
think
girl.
that's mean.
She's a young
That's
girl.
not mean. Okay. But it's a freaking fantastic album.
Younger demographic and the gays, because the gays seem to love
they're
her.
eating it
love
up.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then it is a great album.
Yeah.
But point being that she talks about like, when am I just gonna like be wise for being like my age and not. People always tell you like, oh, you're so wise beyond your years.
Yeah.
But you're like, she's just a 20-something-year-old that is probably just as wise as another 20-year-old. But because she's a celebrity, wow, like you're so wise.
Well, she's so interesting to me because I feel like right now, even when I hear her songs sometimes, and again, this like is aging my fucking ass, but like I hear them and I hear her singing about like love of my life and all these things. And I'm like, girl, you're 19. What do you know?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, but when I was 19, like, I would have listened to this and just been like, oh my God, literally about like some boy I had a crush on or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so crazy. So, but it is funny because I totally hear you. Like it gives like younger demographic, like for sure. And I also feel like it's kind of like, girl, you haven't even lived yet.
Haven't lived yet.
You got so many years ahead of you.
So many years. And I think sometimes you get stuck on thinking that this is it. Like literally just today I was like, when am I going to catch my next big career break?
Totally.
You know, and I'm like, is this it for me? And I hope not.
No.
I hope it's not, right? I don't know what the future holds, but I think we can limit ourselves to that sometimes. It's scary to think about the future.
There's just so many lives that you can live in one lifetime.
For sure.
You look at the way, I mean, we have so many people to look up to. Yeah, your Eras tour or whatever. But like there are so many people we can look up to of like, oh my God, they didn't have a career change until they were 50.
Yeah.
And even now
true.
with like advancements in medicine or like the way that we look at age, 50 does not seem old to me anymore.
Yeah. Which I'm so grateful
seem
for.
Old to me anymore.
Yeah.
Like 60, I would say even 70 is like, when you hear of like someone's grandparent being 70, you're like, oh really? Like that's not
young.
that old.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't wait for my 30s. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't wait for my
Same.
30s. Actually, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm still like understanding that, but there's still things I want to have accomplished before I'm 30.
You're scared
Maybe
of your 30s? A little
no, I think I'm like, there's stuff I want to
do first.
get, you know, I think I want to be like in a better financial place before my 30s. I want to be like in a healthier, you know, mindset, like in terms of like, I want to be in a healthier body at that point, you know, things like that before my 30s.
Establishing the fundamentals before going somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just don't want it to be like, oh, just another year.
Yeah.
You know?
I did have a friend recently tell me that if you do get your shit together by the time you're 30, like your body will be okay. And he was talking about like smoking, drinking, all that. And I was like, okay, so I got 3 years.
That's enough time.
Right.
Just reflecting on the last 3 years of my life alone, I'm like, perfect.
You know what? Okay, then
We're gonna
I saw
go
those bottles.
Yeah.
That Grey Goose, come on, bring it out.
Literally.
We have 3 years.
Yeah.
I want to say half of my friends are 30.
So, yeah, same.
And they all are like, I'm so grateful I'm at this age now.
Yeah.
I'm like, or sometimes I tell them of like my stuff or what I'm doing. They're like, oh God, right here, the biggest worry I have is like, what kind of plant I'm going to plant my garden tomorrow. And I'm like, really? Those are the worries you worry about? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I'm 30.
I know.
Well, some of the people that I know in their 30s still have crazy shit happening.
Yeah.
So that's what scares me. Well, and then I even look at my parents. It's like, oh my God, they still have stuff going on.
Totally.
They still have, so it seems like there's some never ending. I think there are some very smart people in this world. Like, shout out to my friend Daniela, 'cause she loves to hear my friend, like, my drama. Because she was like, oh my God, like, it's so nice not having like a big group of friends. It's so nice. Like, she's like, I just get it all from you. And I'm like, I'm kind of jealous
of your
entertainment. Like, you're bored. Like, I'm jealous of the fact that you're just like, you know, chilling and villain and, you know, I mean, not saying that she's bored, but like, you know.
Yeah, she goes out.
She goes out. But she's smarter with the decisions, it feels like. She's already hit 30 in my head.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Well, and I will say, I think there is, so far, aging has been very positive for me. Like, I feel like when I was younger, when I was in college and stuff, I was like, I can't imagine graduating. It sounds boring. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to work. And then I graduated. Working was like hard to get adjusted to. Obviously, we also had the pandemic, which we won't get into how boring it is to talk about that. But
it was a great time for me, actually. It was a really good time for me. The pandemic was really good. We talk about that a lot, Alex. Like, the pandemic was actually a really peaceful, tranquil time for both of us.
No, and like, when do you get a reset like
literally
that?
And I recognize that it was dark for a lot of people, and I recognize that as well. I'm not gonna erase that or anything, but for me personally, I think that is where it was a wake-up call. I got some smacks in the face.
Me too.
By being by myself for the first time and it being so tranquil and just peaceful. But you were saying something.
I think like that was a time where I learned a lot about myself, which I think also helped me kind of like get more comfortable with like, okay, when I emerge from this, who do I want to be? What type of shit do I want to be doing? Where do I want to live? Which is why we moved. And like, yeah, who do I want to be friends with? All of those things. And so I think so far aging has honestly only been positive. There have been bumps in the road for sure. But like, I think that makes me excited for 30 in the sense of I'm like, you know what? So far, I get older and wiser every year, which I know is like what people say, but it's true.
I think you're right. I do think like there's only better things to come with your age because you're going to be learning a lot more.
You have all these lived experiences.
I mean, it's scary at some parts because it's like, oh, you feel like you're not ready. But ultimately, it's like, it's kind of like I'm backtracking right now because they'll like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're ready or not.
Yeah.
You're just gonna like
here's the thing. It's going to happen no matter what.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, God willing.
Totally.
But yeah,
we're 30 club. We're definitely going to be 30 club.
No 27
no
club
27 club.
No. Well, thankfully, I just turned 28. I've been trying to pass myself off as 27.
Oh my God, love that.
There we go.
28. Yeah.
So you made it. You made it.
Yeah, I made it past the 27 club, which I was very concerned about. You know.
No, it is a little scary. I mean,
are you guys like me? Do you guys think about death a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I think about it.
I think about it. I think my relationship with death has changed. Okay, so I say something that is kind of alarming to a few folk, and I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised by how alarmed they were.
Sure.
But I think reflecting on my life and like it as a whole, as a time capsule, I think that I am okay if something were to happen to me, God forbid.
That's
to
fucking
die.
Awesome.
Because I have done everything in Alex's childhood bucket list. And now I was actually reflecting on this a few months ago about how now I'm establishing a new bucket list of things that I want to do.
That's great.
As an adult. And now I have another like 20 years to look forward to, if that makes sense.
Totally.
But everything that I've done till this point, I'm so grateful that I've been able to say, well, at least I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, powerful. And I think my perspective with death is like, I respect it.
Yeah.
It's going to come to me.
Yeah.
It's going to come to all of us.
That's crazy.
But how we accept that, I think, with grace or with scaredness, with fear, whatever it might be, I think that depends on like the individual itself. Everybody has a different dynamic with death, I think.
I think so too. It wasn't something that I honestly thought about as a kid. It's interesting that you mentioned that because James used to like have actual nightmares about death. Like when he was a kid, he just thought about it all the time. He couldn't stop. And it would like keep him from sleeping. I'm so sorry, Misha was really putting his tail in your face.
I hope he's not a cancer cat.
Wait, he really likes you though, because even
I'm getting a little scared right now.
And I was like, wait, I'm the cat lady. Come to me. And he's like, no, Andrew, Andrew, you might be a cat person.
I don't know what.
I think I am.
I think you are.
But a lot of animals have been coming up to me. I literally heard that like on the street. Some woman was like, "Oh my god, my dog is never this nice."
Do you have some auras?
There's something going on over there.
Yeah, and it's kind of scaring me.
No,
I'm not doing it on purpose.
No, animals have some senses to themselves too.
Right, but like it's scaring me in the fact of like, because I am afraid of death. Like with all of my shit that I've had happen, like it's like I haven't reached my bucket list.
Yeah.
Like with my like stuff, I'm like,
I wouldn't say I've reached mine either.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm ready, and then. Like, I'm always thinking about it, but I really want to go back for a second. I just had the biggest deja vu from being here right now.
Really?
You,
oh my God, wait, when?
With you and you. I think I had a dream about this moment, like 5 months ago or like 3 months ago or something. I don't know. Like it felt like a deja vu.
I get deja vu really bad.
Okay, my deja vu when I was younger was 10 times worse. It was really bad. I would feel like I had relived so many things, or I would listen to songs, kid you not, that I would never have heard before and be like, but I've listened to that song somewhere. And the biggest deja vu memory that I have in my mind is me walking down the street and seeing this young girl that I swear to God I've seen in a dream of mine. But the craziest part wasn't that I recognized that, is that she recognized it too.
What?
She recognized me. And we both looked at each other. And I
have goosebumps.
Goosebumps, guys. I kid you not. And I remember walking. I know exactly what street. I remember walking with my mom. It was like after school. I know exactly what the girl was doing. She was like playing with a toy outside of her house. And we passed by her. And she looked at me and I looked at her. And I was like, do I know you from somewhere? She's like, I don't think we've ever met. And like and then I walked. And my mom was like, oh, you met that girl in school? I'm like, Mom, I swear to God, I've seen her somewhere, but I don't know where. And it also could be, though, that when you're a 9-year-old, you probably don't remember, or younger, I don't know how old I was, I want to say 9. You probably don't remember the things that you did when you were younger, and it feels like deja vu.
I mean, fair.
I think you're kind of right, but also it could have been something
I swear to God,
spiritual.
Like space and time is not real, you know?
No.
No.
Well, I believe in a spirit realm.
Yes,
I totally believe that there are like, I don't know. Like maybe deja vu was like an alternate universe, things that have already happened. Maybe I don't know, because it just is one of those things that even science doesn't really, because they can't really explain it even now. So it's like,
and we have a word for it. I mean, deja vu or a phrase.
Exactly.
When you feel it, you feel it.
So you also feel it now as an adult? Because now as an adult, I do not really feel it.
I get it. And if sometimes.
I do, it's a slim feeling.
I kind of agree with you that I do feel like maybe I had it more as a kid. But now when I get it, I almost believe it even more, because I'm like, I'm really feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah.
Something's not off, but something feels...
Thumbs up.
But have you guys heard of the whole concept of star kids? This is getting a little woo-woo now, but Star Kids,
no.
or like Star, I don't know. It's like this whole
I'm
like
thinking Spy Kids.
There are like kids that,
I love Spy Kids.
There are kids that will like at a young age be like, oh, I remember my past life.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they will like there was the most recent one that I heard about was like some kids saying like he had this obsession with like, I think a fear of fire, a fear of like heights. He loved a certain like jazz artist or musical artist.
Oh my God.
He had like this woman's name in his, and he was like, oh, I used to be a woman, and like I used to be a woman, like telling his mom this, like my name was this, like this and that kind of thing. The mom like then went on to like research all of this information because he gave her enough information, found out like there was this woman who died in a fire who she jumped to her death, found an actual person. They contacted the families, everything. Like he remembered this, and then just at a certain age was just over this thing.
Whoa.
Like he just stopped talking about it.
That's crazy.
And like I kind of do believe like that could be legit. I don't know, like...
Well, because once you maybe get, like, adjusted enough to your new life or whatever, like...
Yeah.
those memories probably go away.
Fade away.
Well, exactly. Like this kid, and this is like a common thing with certain kids. They'll like know all of these things. It's like, how do you know that? Or, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. Like, part of me is like, maybe I was on the Titanic with like my
oh my God,
obsession.
I love the Titanic.
And I've had
if you were so lucky.
No. I've had so
first class.
well, it's definitely first class.
If you were lucky, first class.
No, but I've definitely had like dreams, really freaky dreams where like I'm on the boat and like I see it from like a different perspective. Like I've been like one of my more recent dreams, like I was on an actual lifeboat, and then in another one I was like in the hull with the water and the lights were still on. Like it's freaky. I have one that I still remember from like my childhood. Like there's so many like recurring dreams. I'm also been having, like, not to change the subject, but I've been having recurring dreams about like getting to the airport and my passport is expired and I can't get on the flight, and the flight is always going to Paris.
Interesting.
I have a lot of anxiety-induced dreams like that.
Okay, so I have a story about a passport gone missing in an airport. When I well, not in an airport, but when I studied abroad, I tried to leverage my weekends and explore other countries, because till this point in my life, I had never really traveled. I didn't have that like experience growing up.
Totally.
So I wanted to leverage my time while I was abroad. And one of the trips I really wanted to go to was to Germany. I wanted to go to Berlin, and my friend and I planned it all out and everything. The morning of, we got a flight like early in the morning, 6, maybe 7. Mm-hmm. We get there and Gloria doesn't have her passport.
Classic. And there's always one.
And I literally held Gloria's hand, and she'll tell you this if you ever meet Gloria. And I said, Gloria, I love you, but I'm going without you.
Good for you.
I said
you should.
Good
right.
For you.
Like you need
not
to.
You didn't forget Gloria's passport.
Mama did not forget hers.
No,
I made
no.
everything was packed prior.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she's like, and she was so graceful too. Like she understood. She's like, of course, I would not expect you to stay. But I'm like, okay, I just wanted to make sure that we got that off of our chest, because I would have not been able to fly like peacefully without just confronting this situation here. And I went to Berlin. She stayed, and she actually was like, I'm so happy that you did that for you. And that was the first time I think in my life where I was like, self-love.
Totally.
I remember, I think if I was younger or in high school, I definitely would have been like, well, you know what? Like,
I'll stay.
I feel so bad if you don't experience this, and how will I be in a new country? Yeah. And I really tested younger Alex to be like, no, you're going out to a new environment and really trying it out for yourself.
Cool. That's really cool.
And so maybe what is your dream trying to tell you then?
That I need to renew my passport.
Yeah, you haven't renewed it? Is that really?
No, I have not.
Well, you need to do it before the government shutdown.
I need. Wait, is there a government shutdown?
There's gonna be a government shutdown, most likely, maybe like 80%.
Okay, but like if I do it, if I try to renew it now, it would still take 3 months.
Yeah, it's still gonna be pending.
So it would still be.
The longest government shutdown in history was only 34 days.
Was it really?
Yeah, wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that's right. But that was
the Trump administration.
Yeah.
In the Trump administration. Yeah, that was only recently.
Because it's basically just all government run institutions, the post office, national parks shut down.
And PSA to like folks, they don't get paid. Federal government employees do not get paid. So for 30 days, they did not get paid.
It's like the writer's strike and everything. Yeah.
I agree. They should stop working if they're not getting paid. Like, obviously.
We are living in like some of the most, I feel like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the early 2000s were less volatile.
Oh, for sure.
That I feel like maybe like the 20s and prior, there were so many changes happening.
Yeah.
And then even now,
I think
it just feels like
comfy.
there's so many changes happening.
I agree
again.
with you on that one.
I think people got comfortable. I think people weren't sticking out for themselves. I don't think it was like we were at like a more peaceful time.
No, I don't think we were at a peaceful.
I think a lot of people.
Definitely Vietnam administration. You have the Cold War. You have
Space
civil
race.
rights movement.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like there
9/11.
was like, I mean, maybe the 60s, there was a lot of change. I should take that back. But like by the 80s and 90s, there wasn't like this huge like radical changes that they're doing to our systems now, where we're voting on Medicare again.
I know. Or like women's rights. Really?
Yeah. I think
like
something that has
coming up
changed
again.
is that our voice is much louder in terms of how we view certain things. And since that voice is a lot louder thanks to technology and platforms like Twitter, I think sometimes it could be a placebo effect to a certain degree to society. Like, well, everybody's talking about it. Therefore, everybody must agree with it. Therefore, our governments must reflect that.
Yeah.
And I think that the whole abortion thing a few years ago, a year ago, actually, had like made us realize that that's not necessarily the case.
Well, and I think it's also so interesting because honestly, like Trump administration, all of that, like I never thought we would get back to that point, but maybe that was so naive is what I'm realizing. And now it's kind of like, okay, on the one hand, like the people I agree with are so much louder, but on the other hand, I feel like the other side is crawling out from under their little rock and raising their voice because somehow they were like, oh, we're allowed to say this shit again.
There's a term for that. Like I learned this in psychology and I wish I could remember, but there's a term where if you're surrounded, let's say by 30 people that believe the same
chamber.
thing.
Yeah.
Is that the term?
It's because we live in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So all of our like-minded voices
are
sound
together.
a lot louder because it's like, wait, but everybody agrees with me. It's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And on the opposite side, in the right side is going to feel like, well, they're the loudest voice. Except for in the cities, in these Democrat-run cities, they feel like, and that's how we feel about the South and the suburbs. And when that's not necessarily true, there's a lot more nuance going on.
Yeah.
But it's because when we got on Instagram, we're going to see like all of these reposts of liberal things and very like-minded opinions. So.
And that's the thing I think that I hate about the algorithm. Like,
I know
there's a time where, I did indulge in 1,000 podcast about serial killers.
Yeah.
But listen, after all of that listening, I was tired of it.
Yeah.
But my algorithm kept giving me what I was eating.
Yeah.
And now I have this thing now, that I have like my little radio station. I have like a radio that I use because sometimes it's much easier to rely on the radio to play the songs that it wants you to listen to rather than like managing your playlist on Spotify. And now when I like a song, now I just like Shazam it and I add it to a playlist. And my algorithm literally for songs suggested, it has like 10 different genres instead of just one because it doesn't know. It's like, wait, this is so random. There's no
what are you after? There's no rhythm
pattern
to
here. And I'm like, good, I tricked you. I love tricking my algorithm. But I think that being indulged in the things that we like makes us believe that other people like
everyone
the same
must
things.
think this. Everyone
that's what I'm
has
surrounded
these
by.
beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Which it's not the truth.
No, it isn't. Clearly.
No.
It's so crazy. But I know we're living at a very interesting time because I think obviously with like
Volatile.
the internet and everything that's going on, like on the one hand, I think there's so much positive to be said.
Yeah.
Your message can get spread so much further than it ever could. But on the other hand, so can maybe the person who is spreading fake news or saying something that you might even just not like. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I was talking to someone about like children. God, this has been a really serious conversation through and through, but I listen, it's a good one. So anyway, but we were talking about children and they were asking me if I would ever be a parent, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really don't know. And one of my points in my argument of maybe not having children is that with climate change and all these political issues and all that, like, is it ethical to bring kids in?
It is not.
But hold on, the person that I was talking to was like, well, imagine what someone would have said to you after hearing that like the atomic bomb just dropped, and then not just the first one, and then think of the second one. Imagine how they probably felt. Maybe they were thinking that the world was ending too. Now,
well, they did.
Different dynamics.
Yeah.
Different dynamics in a different time. Like now you can't compare that to now. But it does make me wonder, like, I think as a society, we do have hope to carry our species through to the very end. And maybe that is our job as like humans in a biological perspective.
Yeah.
So maybe there's never a right time or a wrong time. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I just read an interesting article on that because I'm on the side of like, no, I don't necessarily think it's ethical.
Well, it's bad for the environment.
It is. And there are so many of us as it is, as it stands. However, I just read this really interesting article. I actually sent it to you after this. I think it was in The Cut. And it was this woman who was like, the title was something along the lines of like raising a child at the end of the world or like choosing to have a baby at the end of the world, which I was like, okay, I'm clicking on that. That's interesting.
Right.
And
it sounds optimistic.
Yeah. And she was like, I didn't really want kids. And she was like, but I also wasn't the kind of like whole end of the world thing wasn't really on my mind. Like it's not something I was actively thinking about all the time, which is not true for me. I am constantly like, it's the apocalypse, bitch. We're out of here. Like it's over for us.
Do you have your bag ready to go?
I don't, but I'm like, I'm gonna be the first. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm out. Bye.
New York is telling people to have bags ready.
That's fucking scary.
Wait, what are you talking about?
They literally have like this whole marketing thing, like a campaign.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about,
and
right?
Like California too. Like, make sure that you have your bag ready in case of an emergency.
Oh, an emergency?
It's like an emergency pack.
Like floods or like an earthquake, whatever it might be.
Well, I feel like it makes more sense. It definitely makes more sense for like California.
End of the world. That's how I took it.
Makes more sense for California and for New York because New York of the hurricanes and like,
the water
and
the
water that
levels,
like that shit like they have been flooded a few times.
True.
Chicago is a little more safer. Denver is definitely safer. Miami, baby, they need those.
You're first.
You
they
need
that shit. Yeah, you need. But
well, and in this article, the woman was basically like, I had my baby, and then I started feeling guilty about having my baby because I started realizing like what type of a world I brought her into. I just started like kind of thinking of all those things so much more. They were on the front of my mind. And then she was like, but what is it so much like, if not me bringing a baby into the world and raising them to kind of like be this person who has these good values and will help, like, you know, then we're only going to have maybe the wrong type of people. Not wrong, I shouldn't say wrong, but like people who aren't valuing the same things as I am or aren't teaching their kid the same things as I am, like are raising kids in this country now. And I'm like, okay, totally so true. I don't know where I stand on it. I also don't personally really want kids, so there's also that piece. I'm kind of like selfish. I'm like, I want my money, but
oh my god, only child syndrome.
Yeah, literally.
Safe.
So there is that. But
are you both only children?
We are.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a dinner.
Lucky, did you say?
Lucky? Lucky but cursed, maybe.
Yeah.
I think so I recently had a dinner with different generations of only children, and that was really fascinating. Oh, wow. And they were like, we were all bonding, and I'm sure you could relate to this about how there's a stereotype to us that we are selfish.
Yeah.
But I think it's not selfishness, is I think more like we're connected to ourselves. Like, we understand ourselves a little bit more.
I have no choice.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
Literally, the attention was given to you from day one.
Yeah.
You are really in tune with yourself. And I think other people can view that as maybe selfishness.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more heard. But as I'm getting older, I'm meeting more only children. So I'm like, where were we hiding?
That's what I'm saying.
We were kids?
That's what I'm saying. Because I feel like it was only me.
Same.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, where were we? I don't get it. But I'm glad to see it. Like, some of these people were like in their 50s. Others were late 20s and me. And then 30s. Yeah. So it was different generations.
That's cool.
And it was just a coincidence. We didn't know until we got there that we were all only children.
Wow.
And I can't believe we bonded over the stereotype of us being considered selfish.
Yeah. I actually, you want to know a fun story?
Yes.
Yes. Always.
I had a speech class that I took late college. It was like one of my gen eds that I just never got out of the way.
Much
to everyone's surprise. Yeah, right. Much to everyone's surprise, I didn't want to give speeches. However, I do love to chat. And I was just like, I'm going to blow this one off, whatever. I kind of hoped that I wouldn't have to take it. But as soon as I was like wrapping up my credits, I was like, damn, I still have to take that fucking class. So I ended up taking it. I was a super senior, I think. The class was like mostly freshmen and sophomores. And then there were 3 seniors in the class, myself included, super senior. And so I took it, and we ended up, one of our first speeches that we had to do was just like, you partner up with someone in the class and you'll like learn about each other, and then the next day you'll do like a 5-minute speech on each other.
Okay, cute.
So I was like, fine, totally. Everyone partnered up, all the young kids got together, and then there were us 3 seniors, and it was an odd number of people in the class who were like, we'll just do a triangle thing, like I'll write a speech about you, her, me, whatever. And so we like partnered up, just like met up at the library to like learn some stuff about each other. And the guy like loved his brother, was super into his brother, sweet relationship. And I ended up writing my speech about like his relationship to his brother because he was clearly just enamored with the guy. It was very nice.
Oh, beautiful.
It was so cute.
Not.
And so,
just kidding.
And then obviously because of that, we were talking about his brother, and we kind of like went around. The girl's speech ended up, she was like a born again Christian woman, and she had gone to like this like crazy camp in like Texas or Florida or one of those places and just like fucking loved it. And so that was like her whole thing. So he ended up writing her speech about that. And we like breezed over the fact that like, you know, she was like, yeah, I have a sister. I was like, no siblings. Next question, you know, like move on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She ended up, I probably told her like, I don't know, 10 interesting things about me. And she ended up writing her whole speech. Like the next day, I'm literally sitting there front row staring at her. She wrote her whole speech on me for 5 minutes about how I defied all of her biases of only children because I'm not like a selfish fucking bitch. Like she was like, this woman is like, I have always thought like I was like, this is so crazy.
She had a revelation.
It was crazy.
She's gonna be a born again. I believe in.
Yeah, she's gonna be a born again only child.
Yeah, right.
It was so crazy.
Yeah, and it made me honestly, being in that dinner, and I don't know if you feel the same, made me rethink a lot of like how I even think about stereotypes.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have them, like even when we try not to.
Of course.
We still have these biases, and like that's, I don't want to say normal, like I'm trying to normalize that, but like as a human being, that's like a flaw that we all have.
Yeah.
But when they literally write a 5-minute speech about it.
Can I be honest? I've never thought that stereotype about single kids.
No?
Never.
Oh my God. You're the first
I
one.
thought the stereotype was always that the youngest was always the selfish person.
Oh, the baby.
The
The baby was always
Yeah.
the selfish one.
Yeah.
No, because it's like you guys are actually raised with like older siblings and you still like need everything to be your way.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I had like 2 of my best friends in like elementary school and then one in high school. They were both single kids, and they never like seemed, they were just weirdos to me. It wasn't that they were like selfish.
That's the new
or like
stereotype. Those
it was
only
like
are fucking
Weird.
well, like one of them.
One grew up having a podcast. The other one is doing other things.
No,
I mean,
not
you
like
could-
weirdos
you
in a
could
bad
say
way.
This
but,
is
like,
a form of self-obsession, and I wouldn't disagree with you.
No.
No. We are producing art.
This is
Content,
art.
baby.
You're an artist, baby.
Art for the community.
No, I just never had that impression of single kids.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, never.
Because it was a stereotype that I had heard, but when I was sitting front row and she's giving her whole speech on me, and that is the
Then
last
it's
thing
like,
I expected to come out of her mouth, I was
yeah.
like, damn, I didn't realize people actually thought that.
Maybe it's like
Yeah.
a Christian thingy or a born again thingy. I don't know.
Only you know what? You might be
Because
onto
they,
something
like,
because they
believe
want to
in, like,
have producing
big
more families.
That's true.
and so yeah.
Honestly,
That's true.
you
I
might
could see
hit
that.
on something there. Yeah.
Well,
So
and I
that's
will
where it's
say,
coming from.
again, don't want to have kids at this moment in my life. Reserve the right to change my mind.
Right.
But I think if I did, I would only want one. I can't imagine having more than one kid. I actually think that would be so overwhelming. It would be crazy. So
I think
That's
one.
interesting. You want to carry the legacy.
yeah.
Would you give it your last name?
So I don't know. I think I'll keep my last name, mostly because I can't imagine doing all that paperwork.
Oh my God, the paperwork I've heard is hell.
Yeah.
Okay, I recently learned that if a parent doesn't do their first set of responsibilities as a parent and don't decide on a name right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
After 30 days, legally, a child is called baby boy or baby girl. Legally. Or maybe if it's not 30 days, it's 60 days.
Wait.
But something like that. Kid you not. And it's so true because there are cases I've heard from workers where they had to do some paperwork for certain individuals and their legal name is baby boy because they weren't given a legal name when they were born.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
That's actually blowing my mind.
I just recently learned this too.
Oh my God. First of all,
and then no one changed it? They didn't change it for themselves?
If you have to change it as an adult, you have to pay money and then
and put it in a newspaper. Put it in a newspaper.
That is the craziest part.
Like, why is that a rule?
Can I put it on Instagram?
1920s rule is that? Literally.
Yeah.
No, Instagram should be the new way.
Honestly, more people are doing that than purchasing the newspaper. Come
Kid
on.
you not. Yeah, newspaper. People still publish?
Right.
I thought Vogue.
Vogue was the only thing.
Vogue only does the September issue still.
Right?
And that's it, I think.
Straight up.
Wait, are you serious?
I think they only publish their
Actual
September.
printed, I think you're right.
Yeah. Because it's their biggest one.
Yeah, no.
Magazines are dying, babes.
Yeah.
September is the January of fashion.
Correct.
You know, that was like one of my favorite movies growing up was the September issue. It was this documentary about like Vogue's September issue.
Damn, that's badass.
There was like this whole intro that I was obsessed with. It like got me so obsessed with fashion. I quote it to this day.
Yeah.
And it was like a year after the Devil Wears Prada came out.
Okay, totally. Because that was my favorite movie.
Like, which was also my favorite
Anne
movie.
Hathaway's a queen.
Yeah, literally.
We talked about that the first time we met.
Yes.
But it was the year after, so it was like, oh my God, you're actually seeing inside Anna Wintour's office after this movie. And what was crazy is it was set up the same way. Miranda Priestley's office looked almost identical to Anna Wintour's office. Then they had the two girls in the desks in front of the office too. It looked a little more dingy. It wasn't as stylized, of course, but like it was crazy.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I do love when a movie gets it right.
No.
When they do their research.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, because the writer of the Devil Wears Prada book used to be Anna Wintour's assistant.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
There's a play, I think.
Yeah.
No, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's getting panned. It's like not good.
It's not good.
No,
Bummer.
but I mean, why do you need a play or a musical about like a movie?
Right, it should be the other way around. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Mean Girls has their musical.
Yeah.
Like we actually already saw
Mean Girl, the musical.
You saw the music?
No, we already saw it in the movie.
Yeah, but did you know?
Right.
Mean Girl, the musical is going to be a movie. Yes, it's getting released.
And now the Taylor Swift concert is going to be a movie. What's
I will say
that one makes a little more sense to me, but like,
movies?
Let's make something original.
Yeah.
Let's have an original idea for once. Yeah.
Can we try that?
Oh, you didn't hear? Recording a whole tour and then releasing it as the new original parent. But normally she used to release this on like Netflix and stuff.
Okay.
But I think it's actually gonna be honest. It makes me kind of happy that she's releasing it in theaters because it's like, okay, we're solidifying the fact that movie theaters are never gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, true.
Because that is something scary that I've thought is like, oh my God, these psychotic kids that will only watch movies like on TikTok.
When we saw
so true.
when we went to see Sisterhood
of the Traveling Pants.
Oh my God.
They do a lot of re-releases at the Music Box.
Yes.
And they do those at Logan Theater too. I haven't gone to one yet, but I really want to.
The Shining.
Good.
Can we go? We should go to The Shining. They always do it in October. Yeah, they do The Shining every year at the Logan Theater.
Totally do that.
I would love to do it.
I'm so down to do that.
And they did Carrie last year too. I went with
I've actually
Flora.
never seen Carrie.
It was so much fun.
Oh my God.
I had never seen Carrie too, and seeing it for the first time on the big screen.
Totally.
Oh my God.
With all that blood. blood on her.
changes something.
I feel like that also is how you're meant to see those movies.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I feel like there's something so freaking awesome about hearing the audiences.
Oh my God, everyone's reacting at once.
The LOLs.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is it's all film on both the Music Box and Logan.
Fucking badass.
They're still showing it how it was showed all those years ago.
Yeah, I remember one of my favorite things to do in the movie theater when I would go as a little kid is just to look back and see if it was
projecting,
or seeing a worker there. Remember when you would see a worker if it
an actual person,
if there was a bug to the film or something. Yeah. But yeah, those days are missed. Yeah. Now you have to pay $20 for nachos.
Oh my God, that shit's expensive these days.
I know. I still buy it, but
me too.
My parents, that's their thing.
Arts.
That's funny. Wait, when you go to the theater, you got nachos?
I did not do. Okay, when we went to the theater, we got what? We got candy, chocolate.
I didn't get anything.
True. When I go to the movie theaters, popcorn,
Same.
a candy,
me too,
and a chocolate and an icing.
This is something.
Oh my God, okay, you're just like James. I skip the icing and usually go for a soda. But
I am, and my parents can speak to this. My dad especially. I hate when someone is crunkling, and eating.
I
and
get that.
That is I would say one of. Oh, I just realized I had one of those aha moments. People have asked me what's your biggest pet peeve? And I don't have any pet peeves. I think this is my biggest pet peeve. People being loud in a movie theater, because the movie theater to me is it's sacred. I take it so seriously. I'm unless it's a goofy movie, unless it's
Barbie,
we're meant to be, unless it's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which we've all seen before. But if it's a serious drama that or a movie no one's ever seen before,
it's the first time people are talking.
And you're crunkling up on your
carrots.
stuff.
I have seen people eat carrots at a movie theater.
Okay, that's
bullshit.
Moms.
Stupid.
A mom's eating carrots.
Granola, almond moms.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
I will say, I don't think that I personally, I didn't think I had sensory issues, but literally just the other week in Madison, we were walking out of the Airbnb and I was like, fuck, I don't have my sunglasses. And I started digging around in this bag. I had so much fucking stuff with me because I had come straight from New York to Madison for work, and then everybody came for the trip. So, I just had bags on bags. I stayed with my parents for a few days. My mom had given me this bizarre bag that my dad had been gifted at some race that he ran. And I knew my sunglasses were at the bottom, but there was a lot of shit in there that I had to pile through to get there. And this bag, I'm digging through the bag. It's making so much noise. It was really bothering me so much. And I gave up. I was like, first of all, I'm bored of looking. Second of all, I hate the sound that this bag is making. And I was like, I have never been this picky about something in my whole life. And I was like, I can't fucking dig through this.
Was it a cute bag?
No. It was half plastic, but some type of plastic that makes way more noise than most plastic makes. I was like, this is actually disturbing my circadian rhythm right now. I don't know what's going on, but I
think you realize as you get older, the things that really bug you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I was like, I'm over this.
Yeah, the
didn't get the sunglasses,
noise.
Went outside, squinted the whole day. I was like, whatever.
That's one thing. I love a good sunglass moment.
Me too.
Sunglasses really make or break.
I know you love sunglasses.
I do love the sunglasses.
We are always.
We all know I love my sunglasses.
Listen, they prevent wrinkles around your eyes, which is the reason why my mom would advise me to wear sunglasses growing up.
Smart.
No, you're gonna age gracefully. Smart. Same. I have so many facial expressions that no matter how much Botox or sunglasses I wear, I wear my
sunglasses at night, baby.
Yeah. I know your caption.
You don't want to see the devil.
Funny.
You don't want to see the devil.
What is that? That's creepy. What?
Well, Halloween is coming. You're you don't want to see the scary monsters that are out to get you.
Right. Yes, I agree.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
I meant the monsters. Yeah. You don't want to see the monsters.
The devil himself.
Yeah.
You don't want to see him either.
Not that it's gonna get you. No. It's just how we wear socks or. I can't be the only one, right? I'm sure I've heard other people say you cover your feet.
Oh, so, for sure.
A monster won't tickle your feet.
I still do that to this day.
Really?
With the blanket? I don't like having my feet out of the blanket.
It feels weird.
I got obsessed with putting weights on the bottom of my bed because just an extra pillow or extra blankets. because
here I thought it was actual weights, but
no. For a little bit it was like a weight belt.
Do you have a weighted blanket? You'd probably love that.
I know I would
benefit. Yeah.
I got obsessed with it because I, for some reason, saw the news when they were talking about Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping in like the early 2000s. And they showed the pictures of the people who kidnapped her and how they had snuck into her room to get her. And her sister saw her. So in our house in Arizona, when we lived there, I was like the first, like I was front facing. So I was like, I am going to make it impossible for them to think that there's someone in this room.
Totally.
So I'm going to have extra blankets, cover my face. So it has lasted to this day of like how I sleep because of how because of that. Like specific memories and like a noise. I would have the radio playing at night to make people think like, oh, someone's up in the room.
Oh my God, love,
like, so crazy, yeah.
Oh my God, that reminds me of like Home Alone.
Oh my God, Home Alone. Every time I think about Christmas, that's one of my favorite movies.
Me too.
And The Grinch.
A classic.
Yeah.
For
the
sure.
Grinch is incredible.
And it was probably, filmed in Chicago.
Yes, it was. Which I have actually seen. I don't remember which newspaper it was, but they like went and looked at the house and they were like, no, this is like, Kevin, whatever the hell his name was, like, his family was making fucking money, babes. Like that house cost millions of dollars.
Yeah. Forest Park, Oak Park, something like that.
It was like Winnetka, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it recently went on sale or like something like that. I remember it was like just within the last year where they were like, whoa, crazy.
I wonder if it's been renovated on the inside.
Right. Like, do you tear up the movie scene or do you?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you tear up the famous wallpaper?
Right. They did have wallpaper all over that that was a wallpapered house for sure.
Yes.
I loved it. Great design.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Those parents, I mean, can you forget your child?
Yeah, right. Maybe if you have
they
11
made it believable.
They
made it believable with that, with like how many kids there were there.
Yeah.
They made it believable to me.
And he kept getting bullied. Like he was clearly the
odd one out.
Odd one out. Yeah.
But he was also like a little.
Yeah.
Like, he was a little shit stir.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we wrap up, I definitely want to do, because we've been talking about a lot, like perspectives, intentions, outlooks on life. I would love to do Rose and a Thorn with you both.
My favorite segment of your podcast.
Yes. Amazing. Okay, so let's just do Rose and a Thorn of like the last week. Who would love to go first?
Andrew, you go first because I always need time to brainstorm my life experiences.
My rose of this last week was the shoot that I did on Sunday.
Fun.
I did a big shoot with my friend Skin, who I've mentioned multiple times.
Skin is famous on this podcast.
Vanity, who's another drag queen, Vanity Unfair. Shout out.
Were they in drag?
Yes, they were in drag. My friend Nicole, who swooped in. Unfortunately, Britt had to pull out. Our friend Britt.
Totally.
And my friend Nicole swooped in day of. And the concept was Jack McGinnis, our friend. So it was his first time, like as we were collaborators. And so we were both shooting. It was my first big shoot in a minute. Like I've done like one-on-ones
Andrew's
recently.
a talented photographer. Check him out.
I try.
We'll
Check
plug
him
the
out.
Like I'm
space.
actually so happy with the results. So that's definitely like my big rose, like, because it's just been so fun to edit these photos. I can't wait for everyone to see them.
Yay.
So and then my thorn has been just negative self-talk.
That
will
happen.
A lot of like that, and I think it comes off in weird ways, and I think like Monday and Tuesday, I think starting the week off of like certain highs, or even just like letting like paranoia get you. Oh
my God, your demons bite on Monday and Tuesday. I promise. Worst days of the week.
Seriously. So I think that has been, but also this has kind of been my rose for this week.
Yeah, so therapeutic.
If like
Don't
Monday
worry, you don't
is
have to
like
say the pod. You don't have to say the pod.
But like if we're starting the week off as Monday, then I'm gonna say this week.
You're sweet.
Definitely. I'm sweet like Shug.
Sweet like Shug.
Yeah, sweet like Shug.
No, but that paranoia, you're not alone. Like,
no.
I think we all experience that in one.
No, we all
another.
feel like, oh my God, everybody secretly hates me or things like that, you know, or like
Sunday scaries are so real.
Sunday scaries are the worst.
Monday scaries.
Yeah.
Too.
They do carry on into the week. I think it takes me until Wednesday to get fully adjusted. And then I'm back to normal.
And then by Thursday, you're already going out for drinks. And then Friday, you're whooping it up.
Friday, you're like, thank God, that was a long ass week.
What a cycle. Vicious.
My peak, my rose is a weird one. My friend, she has mold in her basement.
Oh, shit.
And Amber.
What?
She has mold in her basement where she goes and does laundry and stuff. But the mold got so bad that she lives on the 3rd floor and you can start smelling it.
Oh,
it was so bad.
That's like bad for your health.
That's horrible. Was it black mold?
It was black
That
mold.
can kill you.
I think you can also maybe sue.
Yes.
Amber. No, just kidding. She's moving out.
Okay.
But the thing, everything's peachy on that regard. But the thing, why this is a rose is because I'm helping her move, and we are basically neighbors. We live like literally 3 blocks apart from each other, and she made me realize how important having neighbors is. I've had neighbors in the past. I have, but literally like right next door. Like I would just open my door and my neighbor was there. But even being 3 blocks away, like we were very intentional of like how we would support each other. Like, hey, Alex, I need this. Or, hey, Amber, do you mind like going on a walk with me because I'm feeling stressed? And just having that support made me value my friend Amber. Shout out to Amber. Hi, Amber.
Love Amber.
But my thorn is work, you know, has been a little bit stressful. And
I feel you, girl.
And I hope that work just becomes a little bit more fun in the next few months because I'm planning out an event that I hope goes well.
Yay.
Nice.
But yeah, that is pretty much my summary on the peaks and lows of
peaks and valleys.
peaks and valleys of my week.
Okay, those are good. No, I totally feel you. I think I've learned like the value of neighbors too, and even just like having people nearby that you can like call if you're in need or like someone you can lean on. Because I think. And especially when you live alone, that's even more important. Like you really have to have that because you have neighbors, you have people who live in the vicinity that you don't know, and then you have neighbors, people you can like actually
have a relationship with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let me think. I think for me, I'll start with my thorn. This last week was definitely a hard one at work. Similarly, I think like work has been getting me down. We're going through some like really big team transitions. I'm actually like doubling the amount of people I manage.
Oh, wow.
I like being a manager. It's also like the hardest job I've ever been given. And like, I'm always one of those girls who like, in class projects and things like that, like for me, being responsible for my own work was always best. Like that's something, again, you can only control what you can control. And for me, that was comfortable. And now being like a manager of multiple people, I'm managing like relationships. I'm managing like, you know, people's comfortability at work, how they're feeling, expectations, all these things, which is work I'm very proud of. It's definitely like been like growing pains. But with all the transitions, I think like change just sometimes instills fear, especially before the dust settles. So it's been a little bit crazy the last couple of weeks. And I'm tired. I think it's starting to get to me. So that's definitely my thorn. I think my rose in the last like week or so, honestly, this week in particular has been I know we chatted about this a little bit. I instilled some rest and relaxation into the schedule, which I think was much needed. Like this summer and honestly, September in particular, I've never been busier. And like the last couple of days, we've just like been chilling at the house, spend time with the cats, making meals at home, barely going outside. And I was like, we need that.
I'm so happy for that.
Yeah.
We're a battery that needs to be recharged.
Exactly. Yeah. You're so right.
Yeah.
You gotta make it happen.
I think I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Maybe once.
Stay fresh.
Just give it a test.
Let me test it out.
Well, thank you guys for coming on this podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
This was so fun.
This
Seriously.
was really
therapeutic,
fun.
like you said.
I was scared for nothing. This was so fun. I love it.
Well, let's fucking do it again soon. You guys are literally naturals at this. I could talk to you all fucking day.
We have been talking for ages. Yeah, it's been fabulous. I love it. Let's get paid for this.
No, that's the goal.
We got paid in food.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like, yeah. But like,
I see what,
we're quitting our jobs. Honey.
Yeah, correct.
We're quitting our jobs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're manifesting greater things for Sam.
I think I could see myself having a talk show.
Yeah.
Or I could see you having
Wendy
a talk
Williams.
show.
Oh my God, thank
I
you.
could do the Wendy Williams moment. Then why aren't you buying her music?
Literally. Oh my God, maybe you are the next Wendy.
You're the next something. We just don't know
I think
yet,
I could do that. I like that idea. Well, I like the idea of. I love how macabre Wendy was. She was like,
"Oh,
so does anybody know this rapper? Yeah, he's not bad looking either.
I know.
He died.
Insane.
She always talks about deaths and stuff.
And then
on her
she'd
show.
be like, anyway.
Yeah, and then it's on to the next.
Yeah.
On to the next.
You gotta admire that.
All that to say, love you. You're doing such an amazing thing.
Oh,
fabulous.
You seriously are.
Professional.
You and Evan, just like you're so intentional with the art that you create.
Thank you. That
and
actually
wanting
means
to
so much.
create like relationships out of the art you're doing.
It's the best part about it.
So it's like you guys, I mean, Sam, this is seriously such an amazing project, and even James helping out so much.
The amazing
speaks to the
duo.
type
Man
of people you
behind the
guys are.
operation.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting us to your casa, such
My
an
absolute
intimate
pleasure.
space, and for just being a lovely host.
Of
Thank you.
course. Thank
Simply.
you. And thank you guys for listening. We
Thank
love you
you.
so much. And we'll be back again next week.
I'm gonna go take a Benadryl.
Bye, guys.
Bye.